All right, this is homework help, lesson 6, 5th grade. All right, there's a homework, there's a bonus. I won't show you what we did today because we haven't done it yet. But our objective is we'll subtract fractions. I will subtract fractions from numbers between 1 and 2. All right, so this time we are going to create only the first. We're only going to create the first mixed fraction. We are not going to worry about the second one per se of drawing it, but we are going to draw the first one. So right here I have 1 1/5 shown. Now we have one whole here because this is one whole, and then this part here is the 1/5. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Now what we do have to do is we still need to cut our whole into fifths. All right, and then what we have to do is we have to look and we have to see that we have to cut the whole thing, the complete thing, the mixed numbers, both of these, into halves. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to draw two sections. We have 1, 2 sections, so now we have a half. Okay, I'm going to actually show you two methods of doing this, so please be aware I'm showing you the first method. So now we have our 1 1/5, and what we're going to do is we're going to see that we have, for the whole here, we have 5 tenths. 5 fifths. I mean 10 tenths. Excuse me. My mistake. I was looking at the half. We have 10 tenths. And over here, that 1/5 becomes 2 tenths. So we have 10 tenths, and we have 2 tenths, and we're going to subtract half. Okay? So half of this is right here. I'm going to cross it out. I'm going to show you that I'm going to cross out half of this. So I'm subtracting the half from the 10 tenths. Okay? And hopefully you see that now we have after I subtract that from the, I'm going to basically do 1 minus 1/2, and then I'm going to add my 2 tenths, which is actually my 1/5. So when I subtract 1 1/2, I'm actually going to get 5 tenths plus 2 tenths, and that's going to give me 7 tenths. And you might be going, wait, how did you get that? Well, if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1 whole equals tenths, that's how much is left after I have halved it. So I'm going to show you another method of doing it. Okay, so I'm drawing you another group of 1 5 tenths. Is the same thing. I'm going to half, well actually first I'm going to make fifths out of this one. Okay, and then I can see I'm going to half it again, half both of these, and now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tenths. So my 1 1/5 becomes 12 tenths. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do 12 tenths minus a half, and hopefully you know that 12 tenths is going to minus the 5 tenths, because 5 is half of 10. And then so let me show you what I do. So here's my 5 tenths. I'm going to cross out 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see, with the numbers that is left, it's 7 tenths left. So you only have to do it one way. You don't have to do it both ways. You get to decide which way works for you, which way you understand the most. Now, I think one of the biggest problems most of you are going to have is figuring out what is the equivalent fraction. You should be able to think about that, and if you think about what would be shaded in when you have half, you would see that this would be half. So that's 5 out of the 10. Now you don't have to shade it in, you have to know that. Let's go to one that's a little more intricate. Here we have 1 and 1. Oops, sorry about this, that's wrong. Here we have 1 and 1/3 minus 5/6. Okay? So this whole thing here, from here to here, is showing me the 1 and 1/3. Now, here I see a 6. Okay? So I'm going to need that in a little while. First, I'm going to third this. So now I have 6 or 4 thirds. Okay, just to let you know, we'll talk about that in a little while. All right, but what we're going to do now is we're going to 6 this, both of these. I'm going to third it first, and then half of thirds is 6, so I'm going to 6 it. Okay. So now I have 1 and 1/3, and again I'm going to decompose it. 1 and 1/3, my original, and it's oops. So I'm going to decompose it, and I'm going to know that it's 18. And some of you might be going, how do you know it's 18/18? Well, if you count here, you're going to see that there's 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 in total. So that's 18/18 equals 1 whole. And then for the 1/3, you might be going, how do you figure that out? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 18ths. Okay, let me do that again with a different color so you know where I'm getting that number. Okay, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and since they're all 18, that's 18. Okay, so 1 and 1/3 is actually 18/18 and plus 6/18. So now I'm going to subtract my 6, or excuse me, my 5. I'm going to subtract the 5 right here from the 18. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That leaves me with 13. So I have 13/18, and I'm going to add my 6/18. Okay? And that is going to give me 18 18ths. No, that's wrong. Oh, sorry, we're not subtracting 6 18ths, sorry. We're subtracting 5 18ths. 5 6, or we subtracted 5 6, 3 18ths plus 6 18ths. Oh, I was right. 6 18ths. I was just adding wrong. Is 19 18ths. I'm early in the morning right now. Okay, which hopefully you see is 1 and 1 18ths. Some of you might go, how did you get 1 and 1 18ths? Well, if you look, these 5 of these will go over here, and then there was B1 left over. Okay, or you just add until you get to 18 here. You would add 5. Okay, and that would leave you with 1. So that would be 1 18th left. All right. We'll show you the other way of doing it. So we're going to do the same thing that we did above. We're going to third this. Okay. And then we're still going to sixth this the other way. I'm going to third it first. And then from the thirds, I'm going to do half of that, which would make it into 6. Okay. Now, the next thing we need to do is figure out what 5 6. Well, we know what 5 6 would be. Uh-oh. Mistake. Did anyone catch the mistake? Yeah. All right. I need to go back and erase this. All right. Here's my mistake right here. All right. My mistake was that I X'd out only 5 6. I shouldn't be Xing out 5 6. What I should be Xing out is and here's where it gets a little tricky on this first way. If I were doing 5 6, this is how much would be shaded in. Correct? Yes. 5 6 would be actually 1 2 3 4 5 times 3 is 15 6. 15 18ths. All right, so sorry about that mistake. So 5 6 is equal what 18? You should be able to see that you multiply times 3. So then it would be 15 18ths, and I should be crossing out 15. So there's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Whoa! So that only leaves me 3 18ths. Okay, see? Sometimes even the teacher needs to go back and check. And then 3 18ths plus 6 18ths. I'm getting the 6 18ths from right there. It gives me 9 18ths, and some of you may know that 9 18ths is the same as half. Okay, and if you don't know that, that's okay. As long as you know that you get to the 9 18ths, you should be okay. All right? Why did I add the 6 18ths? Well, because I subtracted the 15 18ths from the whole. I subtracted it here on this one. All right, so let's go to the second method. I think the second method is a little bit easier in some sense. All right, so now that we have 18ths over here, hopefully you see that the shaded part is this part right here. So if you count all those up, hopefully you know this is equal to 8 18ths, and then this would be 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So we have 24 18ths, and now we're going to minus again the 15 18ths. And then you'll see that 24 minus 15 gives you 9/18, which is also equal to half. Okay, so the part that maybe some of you will not know how to do is the 15/18. How did I get this number? Again, you have your 5/6 that we started off with, and we're going to multiply it times 3. How do you know to multiply it by 3? Well, it's very easy. We know to multiply it by 3 because of our denominator of the first one. You can see from the first example that if you count up all the boxes that I shaded in here, and the second one to represent the 5/6, after we third it, it became into 15/18. All right, so let's take another look and see if this is going to be helpful. Oh, why did I do that one? This is wrong. I'll have to move over here first. No, this is fine. All right, I keep forgetting that this is the part that's wrong. All right, so we start off with 1/3, and you might be going, how do you know it's 1/3? Well, 4/3 is equal to 1 and 1/3. How do I know? Because 4 divided by 3 is equal 1, remainder 1. All right? Also, if you look at it and if you divide this first one into thirds, yes, thirds, you will see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4 thirds. Now, you might be saying, why isn't it 4, 6? Well, we're not counting these 3 here because 1 whole is equal to 3/3. So just remembering that 1 whole equals to 3/3 is part of it. Now, I'm going to take those numbers out again. I have to make sure I undo, because if I try to erase that, that's not going to work. So now here's the difficult part, because we're going to do it into sevenths. It's very hard. Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me take this one here and do that. And let me use that to help me. Okay, so I'm basically drawing 6 lines to make 7 sections. So basically you'll subtract 1 from here to get this number here, to know how many lines to draw. Okay, that's one way of thinking about it. Now, we can use the second one over here to look at what 5/7 would be. So I'm going to shade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do not have to shade in, but this is one way of knowing what 5/7 is equal to in our picture. So if you look there and you count, we have 5 times 3, so that's 15 21s. Okay? So that's our second number. So again, with our first number, we are going to hopefully see that we have this here, which is 21 21s, and then we have 22, 23. It gets very hard to do this. Let me see if I can make it a little 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Wow. Okay. Or, excuse me, sorry. That was going to be for the next one. Didn't have my tea this morning, sorry. Oh no, that's this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when we decompose our 1 1/3 or our 4/3, we're going to have 3/3 and 1/3. Okay, that's original. But when we do it with our red lines, we come up with 21 21s. And then over here, we have our 7 21s. Okay, so now we're going to take our 21 21. We're going to minus our 15 21s. And then we're going to add our 7 21s. All right, so that's 6 21s here. And you might be going, how do you figure that out? Well, 21 minus 15, 11 minus 5 equals 6. So that would be 6 21s plus our 7 21s equals 13 21s. How does it show up in the picture? Well, we're going to cross out 15 of these. From the original. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 times 5. That's 3, 4, 5. And we are left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There again is our 6 21s that's left. And then we add our 7 21s, which is these yellowish one here, to our 6 21s. And that gives us 13 21s. All right, let's do it the second method. Again, we start off by doing the same thing of dividing it into 7s. It's not perfect, I know that. Just make it so that you can see it. These 7s can be kind of tricky. Oh, and I forgot to third it. All right, so we still have 21 21s. Hopefully you see that this is 21 21s. And now we have 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So we have now 28 21s. And now we're going to subtract our 15 21s. And now again, if you work on the side, or if you need to, you can do 28 minus 15. So let me cross those out. We're going to cross out 15 again. This time we're going to start over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, so if we count those up, we know that there's 12 here and 13 right there. If you need to count, then I will count it for you. So there's 13 left. So it's 13 21s. Okay, so there's some help. Hopefully that's helpful. I have a lot of more problems over here, and I would really like to help you with all of these, but it would take forever to do them all. And even though I did some pre-work on this, I noticed that I did some mistakes. So I'm hoping that that was enough help there. Actually, let me go ahead and try this one over here. That one's wrong, and I can tell you what's wrong. This part is wrong here. Again, Our division is correct because we do have 6 in there. So let me 6 this over here. So what our fraction should be right here, it should be, that's 5, 6 plus 1 whole. So it should actually go out to right over here. Okay, so we're going a little bit further. Hopefully you see that 5, 6 is close to 2 whole. All right, now we have to do eighths. And again, we're going to have to get really close to do this eighths. It's going to be very tight. I might even go thinner here. All right, so I'm going to fourths this. All right, and I'm going to half the fourths, give me eighths. Whew. That's a lot of work. All right, so now we have 48. And some of you may say, how did you get the 48? So this is actually 48 eighths plus, let me see, 1 and 5 6 is the same as 48 48ths, and 5 times 8 is 40 48ths. Okay. You can do the butterfly effect here. All right. And this is 40. And this is over here. We have our 42, and that's going to come into play in a second. Again, how did you find that out? Okay, well, it says 7/8, so if I'm going like this, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And hopefully you see that we have 7 going this way, and then 8 going the other way, and 6 going the other way. That is 6 times 7 is 42. Okay, so now we're going to do the 48 48ths minus the 42 48ths, and then we're going to add our 40 48ths. All right, so now we have 6 48ths plus 40 48ths, and that's going to give us our 46 48ths. And some of you can see that we can divide these by 2, which will give us our 23 24ths. If you can't get to this, that's okay. Right now, this is using larger units. Okay, I just know that I can divide by 2 because they're both even numbers. Even numbers can be divided by 2. The 40 and the 48, 46 and the 48 are even numbers, so you can divide by 2. Okay, so that's method number 1. Let me show you method number 2. Oops, let me cross out. I forgot to cross out 42. Ay, there's so many to cross out. All right, so from the whole, from the first one here, I'm going to cross out 42. Now, I can know my math, and, well, actually, it's right there in front of me. I'm going to cross out everything here to everything here. And how do I know? Well, look, I showed it with the green. The green is giving me my hint here. The green shaded in is what I'm going to subtract from my whole. And you see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. That's a 6 over here. And then we still have our this section here that we need to add back into it. Okay, that's our 40 48ths. Okay, actually I'm a little wrong there. It should be all the way up here. All right, we need to add that back in. All right, so let's move on to the next one. And we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to eighth this, and I like to do it by halving it first. And then half of the half is fourths. And half of the fourths is eighths. Okay, and if I count up from all of this section, oops, all of this, and all of this, all of these would add up to a number that is, well, I know I have, here's how I can do it. Here I have 48 48ths again. And then here I'm taking 8 away from it, so it's going to be 40 48ths. Okay. Just checking my number real quick. Okay, so now I add 40 48ths and 40, and that will give me 88 48ths. And now I'm going to subtract my 40 48ths. Nope, something went wrong. Oh, I'm going to subtract my 42 48ths, excuse me. I was close. I was looking at the wrong number. I'm still subtracting 42 48ths. So this should be a 2. And then we know 88 minus 42, you get 46. All right, so it should be 46 48, which is the same thing as up here. All right, now to show it that we're crossing out, what we're going to do is we're going to cross out 42, and you might be going, oh my gosh, I have to cross out 42. But if you look at it, we already know there's 40 here, and then we just have to cross out 2 here. If you look at it that way, then we know that there's 46 here, because 48 minus 2 will give me 46. All right, I hope that's helpful. I'm going to say the bonus word because, again, we haven't given the lesson this time. So I'm saying the bonus word, and the bonus word this time is going to be robot. Robot's the bonus word. May the force be with you. R2-D2.